Have you ever met someone in their 70s who somehow looks more vibrant than people 20 years younger? Not because they have perfect skin, not because they spend thousands on beauty products, but because they move differently, they smile differently, they seem lighter somehow. In Japan, many people believe that aging doesn't suddenly appear one birthday after another. Instead, it quietly accumulates through hundreds of tiny daily choices. The fascinating part is that these choices rarely look extraordinary. They're so simple that most people overlook them, yet over decades, they shape not only how a person looks, but also how they carry themselves, how they speak, and even the energy they bring into a room. Today, we'll explore 8 Japanese habits that may help you look younger for longer. Some are surprisingly familiar. Others might completely change the way you think about aging. And the final habit isn't really about appearance at all, but without it, the other 7 lose much of their power. Let's begin. First, eat until you're almost full. One of Japan's best-known longevity traditions isn't about eating special foods. It's about knowing when to stop. In Okinawa, many people practice a simple idea called Hara Hachi Bu, eating until they're about 80% full instead of completely stuffed. At first, this sounds almost too simple. After all, how much difference could a few extra bites really make? But think about how your body feels after a heavy meal. Your energy drops. You feel sluggish. Sometimes your face even looks puffier the next morning. Now imagine avoiding that feeling almost every single day for decades. Your body spends less energy dealing with constant overeating and more energy repairing itself. Instead of chasing fullness, Japanese meals often end with satisfaction. There's a quiet sense of enough. A bowl of rice, grilled fish, seasonal vegetables, miso soup, small portions that leave room to breathe instead of creating discomfort. Over time, this habit naturally helps maintain a healthy weight without endless dieting. And when body weight stays relatively stable through the years, the face often changes more gradually as well. Skin tends to look healthier, movement feels easier, even posture benefits. Perhaps more importantly, eating slowly encourages people to notice something we've forgotten. Hunger doesn't disappear instantly. Fullness arrives quietly. Sometimes it simply needs a few extra minutes to catch up. Looking younger isn't only about what goes onto your plate. Sometimes it's about knowing when to put the chopsticks down, but what happens after the meal may be just as important. Second, never stop walking. If you visit many Japanese neighborhoods early in the morning, you'll notice something surprisingly ordinary. Older adults are everywhere, not rushing, not exercising intensely, simply walking. Some walk to local markets, others stroll through small parks. Some take slightly longer routes home for no reason other than enjoying the morning air. The remarkable thing isn't the distance, it's the consistency. Walking isn't treated as a workout, it's simply part of life. This gentle daily movement keeps joints active, muscles engaged, and circulation flowing without placing overwhelming stress on the body. It also changes something less obvious, the way people carry themselves. A person who walks regularly often stands taller. Their balance improves. Their steps become smoother. Confidence quietly shows in posture long before wrinkles appear on the face. Imagine seeing the same neighbors every morning, a smile, a short greeting, perhaps stopping briefly to admire flowers that weren't blooming yesterday. The walk nourishes both the body and the mind. Researchers have long associated regular movement with healthier aging, but Japanese culture adds something science sometimes forgets. Movement doesn't have to be difficult to be meaningful. It simply needs to become normal. Instead of asking whether you exercised today, perhaps ask a different question. Did your body spend enough time simply being alive? Because the next habit begins before breakfast even ends. Third, make green tea part of your day. For many people, tea is just another drink. In Japan, it often becomes a daily ritual. Preparing green tea naturally slows everything down. The gentle sound of water, the warmth of the cup, the first sip. Instead of rushing toward the next task, there's a brief moment of stillness. That pause alone can soften the stress carried throughout the day. Green tea is also rich in natural compounds that researchers continue to study for their relationship with healthy aging. But perhaps its greatest strength isn't hidden inside the leaves. It's hidden inside the habit. Unlike sugary drinks that create quick highs followed by crashes, green tea invites steadiness. Many older Japanese adults have enjoyed several cups each day for years without giving it much thought. Not because they expect miracles, because it's simply what they do. Small rituals repeated thousands of times become powerful without ever feeling dramatic. Imagine replacing just one rushed afternoon coffee with 10 peaceful minutes and a warm cup of tea. The change seems almost invisible until years have passed. Youthfulness isn't always created by adding something extraordinary. Sometimes it's protected by removing unnecessary stress. And speaking of stress, the next habit might surprise you even more. It has nothing to do with skincare, yet people often notice it first when looking at someone's face. Fourth, protect your face from stress before you protect it from age. Most people blame wrinkles entirely on time. Japanese culture often pays attention to something else: daily emotional tension. Have you ever caught yourself frowning without realizing it? Clenching your jaw, holding your shoulders tight for hours? These tiny expressions slowly become familiar to your face, day after day, year after year. Many traditional Japanese practices encourage the opposite: gentle breathing, quiet reflection, tea ceremonies, gardening, simple routines performed with full attention, not because life is free from problems, but because constantly carrying those problems on your face eventually changes how that face looks. Think about someone who laughs easily. Their eyes feel warm. Their smile reaches naturally across their face. Now think about someone permanently burdened by tension. Even in silence, their expression tells a story. Japanese wisdom suggests that inner calm eventually becomes visible, not overnight, but gradually. Just like stress slowly leaves its marks, peace quietly leaves its own. And the next habit builds on exactly that idea in a way most people never expect. Fifth, eat the seasons, not just the same foods. Every day, walk through a traditional Japanese market and you'll notice something curious. The shelves never look exactly the same. Spring brings tender greens. Summer fills baskets with tomatoes, cucumbers, and juicy peaches. Autumn welcomes sweet potatoes, mushrooms, and persimmons. Winter offers hearty root vegetables and warming soups. Rather than chasing the newest superfood, many Japanese families simply eat what's naturally in season. It may seem like a small detail, but over a lifetime, it creates incredible variety. Different vegetables, different colors, different nutrients, without counting calories or following complicated meal plans. There's also something deeply satisfying about looking forward to foods that only appear for a short time each year. Instead of eating strawberries in every season, they become something special again. Instead of treating meals as routine, each season brings its own small celebration. Imagine sitting down to dinner and instantly knowing what time of year it is just by looking at the table. That connection to nature quietly slows life down. Meals become experiences instead of obligations. Many experts believe colorful fruits and vegetables provide antioxidants that help protect the body as it ages. Japanese cuisine naturally embraces this idea, not by chasing nutrition trends, but by making colorful seasonal foods a normal part of everyday life. Youthfulness often begins from within, not because of one magical ingredient, but because your body receives a wide variety of nourishment year after year. Still, food alone isn't enough. There's another habit that quietly repairs what every single day slowly wears away. Sixth, protect your sleep. Like it's part of your beauty routine. When people think about looking younger, they often think about expensive creams. Few people think about bedtime. Yet every night, your body begins one of its most important restoration processes. Skin repairs itself, hormones rebalance. The brain clears away waste accumulated throughout the day. Miss enough of those nights, and eventually your face starts telling the story. Dark circles linger. The skin loses brightness. Energy disappears from your eyes. Many Japanese evening routines naturally support better sleep. Dinner tends to be lighter than in many Western countries. Late-night overeating is less common. Evenings often become quieter instead of more stimulating. A warm bath, gentle conversation, reading, tea. Simple rituals that gently tell the body it's time to slow down. Picture an elderly Japanese couple finishing dinner early, taking a short evening walk, then settling into a peaceful night without television blaring until midnight. Nothing about the routine feels dramatic, but repeated for 40 years, the effects become extraordinary. Looking younger isn't about stealing time from sleep to get more done. Sometimes it's the sleep itself that allows everything else to work. And surprisingly, the next habit has almost nothing to do with food or rest. It begins with other people. Seventh, never grow old alone. One of the greatest secrets to aging well may not be found in the kitchen. It may be found around the dinner table. Japan has one of the world's longest life expectancies, and while many factors contribute, one often overlooked habit is maintaining meaningful social connections. Friends meet for tea, neighbors greet each other during morning walks, community groups gather regularly, older adults continue participating in local activities long after retirement. These interactions may seem ordinary, but loneliness carries a hidden cost. Chronic isolation has been linked to increased stress, poorer health, and faster physical decline. Connection, on the other hand, brings something difficult to measure. Purpose, laughter, belonging. Think about the difference between eating dinner alone in silence every evening and sharing a simple homemade meal while telling stories that make everyone smile. The food hasn't changed, but everything else has. Many Japanese people also embrace the idea of Ikigai, having a reason to get up in the morning. It doesn't have to be grand. Growing flowers, helping grandchildren, teaching calligraphy, volunteering, taking care of a small garden. Purpose gives the face something no cosmetic product ever can, a quiet spark. And finally, we've reached the habit that quietly holds all the others together. Without it, even the healthiest routines rarely last. Finally, number 8, choose consistency over perfection. This may be the simplest habit on today's list. It's also the most powerful. Many people spend years searching for the perfect anti-aging routine, the perfect diet, the perfect workout, the perfect skincare product. They begin with excitement. Then life gets busy. A few missed days become a few missed weeks. Eventually, the routine disappears. Japanese culture often approaches improvement differently, not through perfection, through repetition, small actions done consistently, a short walk every morning, a balanced meal, a warm cup of green tea. going to bed a little earlier, sharing time with family. None of these habits seem extraordinary on their own, but together, repeated thousands of times, they quietly shape an entire lifetime. Imagine placing one tiny stone into a garden every single day. After a month, the change is barely noticeable. After 10 years, you've built something remarkable. That's how youthful aging often works, not through dramatic transformations, but through gentle habits repeated long enough that they become part of who you are. Perhaps that's why so many older people in Japan don't seem obsessed with looking younger. Instead, they focus on living well. Ironically, that mindset often helps them appear younger than those constantly chasing youth. Because true vitality isn't only reflected in smooth skin, it's visible in steady steps, warm smiles, curious eyes, peaceful mornings, and a life lived with quiet intention. If there's one lesson to take away today, it's this. Looking younger for longer isn't about fighting age. It's about giving your body and mind the daily care they quietly deserve. Start with just one habit. Let it become part of your life. Then allow the next one to follow naturally. Over time, you may discover that the greatest secret to aging well was never hidden at all. If you enjoyed discovering these timeless Japanese habits, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more insights into Japanese wisdom, and let us know in the comments which habit you're most excited to try first. Until next time, take care and keep choosing the small habits that shape a healthier, happier future.